Welcome students and parents to your first flipped classroom video of school year 2014-2015. I am Miss LeCompte. I will be your host. Yes, I definitely have my nerd card. I am a big Star Wars fan. Alright, so yep, that's me. That's me at the beach this summer in the Outer Banks. And I'm going to go through this document. You should have it in your possession, in your binder, to share with your parent as well. I'm going to go through this document from beginning to end so that you can understand a little bit more about what's expected in this class. So this is, as it says here, this is my 15th school year, right there, 15th. Can't believe it. It's been a long time. It's off to a really great start. We're going to have a great year. We got iPads. We've got all kinds of cool ideas coming. Very excited. So let's start with, what are we going to be learning here? What will we learn? Well, Pre Algebra is a combination of 7th and 8th grade math for you guys. Course 1 honors was all of 6th grade and half of 7th grade. You'll have the rest of 7th grade math and all of 8th grade math. We will study number sense and computation with rational numbers. We will study basic statistics, beginning algebra, and some basic geometry. At the end of the school year, you will be taking the grade 8 SOL test, regardless of the grade level you are in right now. So that tells you what the class involves. Now let's talk about the expectations for my class. And it's in a matrix format. It's right here. We expect all of our students to be responsible, respectful, and safe in our building. It's part of our honor code that we state every day, for those of you who might be new to Spratly. And in order to be responsible in our conduct, we're going to follow directions first time they're given. And in order to be responsible in our academics, we're going to come to class prepared to work. And we'll talk about that in a moment with supplies and materials. We're going to be respectful. That means that when you want to speak, you're going to raise your hand for that permission to speak. Very important, especially in these large classes, that you do wait your turn and raise your hand for permission. It's also important that you work with your classmates, in a constructive manner. So it's important to me that you work nicely with the other kids, is really what that's saying. In order to be safe, you're going to raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. Again, big classes, crowded. It's important that we're asking for that permission so that we're not all wandering around the room and possibly distracting the other kids, making it hard for other folks to learn. And in your academics, you demonstrate safety by maintaining your integrity by doing your own work, by not plagiarizing, cheating, or otherwise taking the work of another person and representing it as your own. So I have expectations for you guys. There's also expectations for me. In conduct, the expectation for me is that I will enforce these expectations fairly and equally for all students. And in academics, it's that I will provide an opportunity for everybody to learn, for every child in the class to learn. And I think we are already doing that by making a flipped classroom. We're going to talk a little more about what that means shortly. Let's talk about the supplies you're going to bring to class. So what am I bringing to class? Well, your current composition book, very important. It's going to contain your video notes and your written homework assignments for pre-algebra. You should also have a 1-inch 3-ring binder in which you will keep your graded work. A working pencil, mechanical is preferred, only because you don't have to get up to sharpen it. It's already going because you've got lead inside it. And a stylus for your fully charged iPad. Now you're coming to me first block. I want that to have a full charge on it. So that means that you're going to charge it up. You cannot sit on the bus and draw your battery all the way down by playing games all the way to school and then expect to be able to use it in class. So it's important that iPad has a full charge on it when you start the day. Okay. Oh, look at that. I have stylus written twice. You don't have to bring 2 styluses. Anyway, you don't have to bring 2, just 1. All right. What can I do to work for success? Well, definitely you're going to stay on task. Now, we went through those expectations, but that's kind of like the rules in every class. To work towards success, we want to make sure that we're staying on task, especially with video assignments. You're going to take quality notes. You cannot phone it in. We'll look at an example in class. I want you to understand there's no quick fix or magic wand for learning math. You have to work to understand the math conceptually, and you're going to have to work to practice skills that you learn in class to improve. Like anything else in your life, practice makes perfect. It's really important that you understand those expectations, the importance of this matrix we went over before, and understand that we work best when we work, each of us individually is working to be respectful, responsible, and safe. I'm a big proponent of what we call natural consequences. Natural consequences are like, oh, you're running across the kitchen floor and you slip and fall after someone told you the kitchen floor is wet, don't run on the kitchen floor. That's a natural consequence because you knew what was going on and you chose to make an unwise decision anyway. And as a result, you have a consequence. So I also like personal responsibility, very important. I want you to remember that you are the one who's going to be held accountable for your actions in this class. On to the back of your course information sheet. Let's take a look at what the semi-flipped classroom entails. We'll look at grading percentages and all that in a minute. So a semi-flipped classroom, what are we talking about here? Well, in a flipped classroom, the students learn new concepts by watching videos and taking notes at home. Doing the practice side, which is formerly the homework, where you would sit at a desk at home, you're doing that at school. That's your warm-up, your classwork. It's traditional education and it's turned on its head. In the semi-flipped model, the students will watch videos on some nights and do written homework on other nights. Now, you have class every single day. I am not going to be capable of creating a video for every single class day. So you have traditional homework some nights, video homework other nights. You should expect to need to watch videos 2 to 3 nights a week and have 5 to 20 homework problems on the other nights, depending on what we are studying. If we are studying properties, you will have more because you are not going to take as long to do each problem. In addition to this, you should practice the skills we learned by using a platform like IXL Math, something we'll talk about later in class once the school has the subscription up and ready, and Khan Academy, which we will set up very shortly, either to the first or the second class. We'll explore both of these together, and you'll see that they are great for practicing the basic skills that you've learned. All right, so if we've got a flipped classroom, what does that mean? What are we actually going to do in the classroom? Well, you're going to start each day with a warm-up. I can't guarantee what it's going to be. You're going to do it on the iPad most days. After the warm-up, class activities will vary and they'll often be collaborative. That means group work. You'll be responsible for completing all tasks assigned on each class day. Extra time will seldom be available in class, but when it is, you're going to be encouraged to use your time wisely. We will devise a list of activities. In fact, we may have already started doing it before you watch this video, that are appropriate for class time. No Angry Birds will not be on the list. And again, we'll have IXL Math and Khan Academy to use to practice our basic skills. So we'll get back to what if I need extra help in a minute. Let's look at what we have for our grading percentages here. And I need to unlock this so I can move it again. Sorry, little video, momentary lapse of judgment in my video there. Okay, what are the grading percentages? Well, 10% of your grade is homework. Your homework will be graded for completion. For a set of video notes to be complete, you must include all definitions, all examples, and at least one question you have after watching the video. I will be enforcing this. If you don't have complete video notes, you will not get 100% for each one. Of course, 10% of your grade may not be a big impact, but it's important to me that you're doing them completely because I need you to know how to take quality notes before you leave me at the end of the school year. For a set of written homework to be considered complete, you must copy each problem, and then there are some exceptions for that. We'll talk about that, and I will give you those exceptions in class. And you got to show work for each problem. Again, there are some exceptions. When we're identifying a property, there's not a whole lot of work to show. 20% of your grade will be classwork. That's your warm-ups, your group activities, rote practice, and that'll make up your classwork category. You'll have the option to correct some classwork activities for a higher score. Quizzes, 30% of your grade is quizzes. We'll take a planned quiz or test weekly, so that says that in this category because it'll be a test or a quiz. We wouldn't necessarily have a quiz and a test in the same week. You will also be given homework quizzes. And this would be the equivalent to what we call traditionally in the old classroom the pop quiz. Ah, the pop quiz. No, she didn't say it. Yeah, you will be given pop quizzes, but they're not traditional pop quizzes. What it's going to be, a homework quiz, is going to be something where you're allowed to use your composition notebook and all of its contents. So if you're taking notes from your videos and doing your actual homework, you're going to be fine on a homework quiz. But it is something that will be a quiz grade, and it will be counted as quiz. Tests, 40% of your grade is tests. Might sound like a big chunk, but when you get to high school math, it's 50%. Tests will be cumulative. For each test, you'll be invited to complete test corrections using a format we're going to review in class. So test corrections, that's a big help to your grade when you're doing test corrections. The original test grade is set. The test corrections constitute a second test grade, and that will always be higher than the first test grade. Okay. All right. What if I need extra help? Well, extra help times will be offered before school on most Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, starting at 8:15. The caveat there, the stipulation there, what you have to do is you have to obtain a pass from Mrs. LeCompte in advance. But an email from me can serve as a pass. So if you send me an email, oh no, I'm so freaked out, I don't understand what I'm doing, help! Help me, Miss LeCompte. You send me an email, I can reply and send you an email back, and then you'll be a happy student again, like it's no big deal. All right, if you have questions for me, my email address is at the bottom of the sheet that you hopefully are looking at while you watch the video. My phone number on the other side. Easier for me to email. You can also post questions to our Edmodo page. Now, before we continue on to our last two slides here, I want to just talk for a second about what happens if you're not keeping up with that flipped classroom. First of all, your grade is going to suffer because you will have grades based on whether or not you complete homework. Second of all, you're going to miss class activities. If you just sit in class and do watch the video and take the notes in class, you're going to miss the activities in class. And that means that your grade is also going to suffer there, and also your understanding is going to suffer. Habitual homework neglect will result in my requesting a parent or guardian conference, either by phone or in person. That means you, me, and a parent are going to have a chit-chat about why you're not getting your videos done. So, we've got a little bit more to say before we quit on this video. I know it's probably getting a little bit long, so let's go on to my last two slides here. So I know I'm kind of biased, but I want you to know that it's really important to me that you recognize that math is super fun and math is also really beautiful. So just for a moment here, let's talk about that. So math being fun? Really? How can math be fun? Well, look, Angry Birds, while we're not going to play it in class, is just a game of parabolic projectiles. You know, that's what this is a parabola. That's a mathematical idea. And the math that went into creating this, pretty complex stuff. Sudoku, some of you probably really love Sudoku. If someone has puzzles for you, excellent a test of your math skills, organizational skills. 2048 even has a little bit of redeeming educational quality. Math is beautiful. Math is beautiful. How can she really mean that? Well, you got really cool things like fractals. These are two really sweet looking fractals. Here's a tree fractal here, and then this one is I think is a version of a Mandelbrot set, I believe. And you've got the golden ratio and these cool spirals here, Fibonacci spirals in nature. All kinds of beauty we can find. All kinds. So math is fun. Math is fun. Ooh. And math is, why can't I get to big? Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And finally, now that you've made it to the end of the video, I want your parent, I know I was really talking to you, but I was really more for the parents. Hi, parents. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know this is probably how some of you feel. Some of you probably miss your kids, but I know this is definitely the look on my husband's face when my son and I went back to school, and these poor guys down here, they don't even know what hit them. Anyway, I want you to go to my website. Here it is right here. I'm going to go ahead and make a clickable link on the video, hopefully, if I can figure out how. And you're going to scroll to the bottom of the main page and complete the parent or guardian contact form. If there's a joint custody situation or shared custody, please have each parent that has custody at any point in time, please have everybody fill that out. And also, if you would like to read a little bit more about the flipped classroom, you could do that at the blog page of my teacher website. It's woefully unupdated. It's totally a post from last year, but it's a little bit more about this awesome thing we call the flipped classroom here. Well, I hope you enjoyed your first video. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits now so that I can see how I did. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, shoot me an email. Send me an email or leave me a phone message, and I will see you guys in class.